Hello. How are you? This is Els coming from Beema's Crafty Corner. And today I'm working on a little bit of ephemera for the Edith Holden journal. And I decided that I was going to do this pocket here, which is a wraparound pocket. And it's from an envelope. So we are going to be doing that today. So I'm going to get out some supplies and some tools. And I'll be back with a list of things that we're going to need to do this one. It's pretty simple. So we're going to jump right into it. I'm going to go ahead and get the supply list. I'll be right back and we'll get started. Supplies on this one, pretty easy. We're going to want some paper that's large enough to fit. You're going to want some scoring tools and a scoreboard, a paper trimmer, some glue, and an envelope. The one I'm using today is parchment paper. This one's made from parchment, and you can use a return envelope for this from your mail. You can even use a junk envelope if you want to. You just have to glue the top shut, you know, after you've ripped it open. So that's pretty much all of it. So I'm going to go ahead and clear some stuff here. I'll be right back, and we'll go through, you know, the steps. Obviously, you're going to want like an ink dauber and ink and things like that, and some ephemera, but that's all a matter of personal taste. So I'm going to clear this, and I'll be back, and we'll get started, okay? All right, so let's get started. First thing I want to do is measure the length of my envelope, which is 9.5. So 4 3/4 is my midpoint. I'm going to put a small pencil mark here. Okay, and then I'm going to use my scissors, and I'm going to make a very small wedge right to that mark. It doesn't have to be big. You just have to take a wedge out, okay? But why? So that when we fold this, it doesn't do weird things. Okay. So then I'm going to turn my envelope over, and I'm going to mark this. Now remember, whichever direction you put your score line, that's the valley, so you're going to fold it away from the valley. So I'm going to put my score line right here. And then I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to glue. I'm going to glue the very edge of my flap. Glue that down. Go from here, and I'm going to glue this one down. And reason I'm putting the glue on the flap and not on the envelope is because I wouldn't know where it was going to hit. All right. So now we have our score line here. We have our relief here. So we're just going to fold this on the score line. Just like that. And that allows this to sit perfectly flat. Okay? And then I know that this is 4 3/4 inches. So what I'm going to do to open my pockets is I'm going to take this down to 4.5. So I'm going to take 1/4 of an inch off the edge. It just makes it easier later on to measure. So 1/4 of an inch out. Set this off to the side. And now our envelope is pretty much ready to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, we know that this is 4.5. And if it's at 4.5 and you want to put 1/8 of an inch on either side, you need to cut at 4 1/4 by your height, which on this envelope is 4 1/8. So 4 down, 3 7/8. And then I'm going to do my pockets. And you have to decide, do you want your pocket to be the same size as your mat, or do you want it to extend over your mat? I like my pocket to extend over my mat. So my pockets are going to be 4 1/8 by whatever width I want them to be. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way. We're going to do some cutting. So I'm going to get my paper out. I'll be right back. So I selected some papers. I have some full-size pieces here and some scraps. And remember now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 sides, potentially, to cover. Okay, so we're going to be cutting 4 of the 4 1/4 by 3 7/8. Three and 7/8. And 4 1/4, 3 7/8. Okay. We'll set those to the side. And then 4 1/8 by whatever width we want. So I'm going to go 4 1/8 by 2. Let's see what 2 1/4 looks like. Yeah, we're going to go 2. Okay. Yeah, I think I like the 2. Okay. So I'm going to cut pockets as well. And I'm going to cut 4 of those. Because I have 4 sides to cover. Alright, so I'm pretty sure that's all my cutting. I may change this up and cut, you know, different pocket or something, but for now, I'm pretty satisfied with it. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of these that are going to fit here, 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 and here. And then I have 4 of these that are going to go here, 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 and back here. So at this point, you need to round corners if that's what you're going to do, and do your inking, okay? And then I'll be right back. Okay, so I have my pieces, and I just need to, at this point, glue these on. So I'm going to glue the mats on. I'm going to do these stripes on the outside. And I did use a little bit different of a corner rounder on this, because I wanted a slightly different look. And I haven't inked my edge here. I haven't inked my edge because I don't know if I'm going to round it yet. Okay? So let me get this one on, and then we'll deal with the inside ones. Okay, so now I have to decide if I want these at the top or at the bottom. I think I'm going to do it this way. So I'm going to get these put in, and then we will move on to the next part, which is going to be notching if we want notches. Now this is the point where I usually tell you, make sure that you line it up top and bottom and that it's really perfect. But it doesn't have to be, because this is probably going to get wrapped around a page. But if you plan on making it stand alone, then, you know, once again, I will caution that you make sure that your top and bottom are the same width. All right. So now I have to decide if I'm going to notch this. Then I need to do that now. And then I can ink. See how close we are. Ooh, that was good. Okay. So I'm going to ink inside here, just a little bit, and then ink my edge, ink around my divot, and on the back of my pocket. And I'm going to do the other side exactly the same. So back of my pocket, this area inside where my divot is, and then don't ink this part with the envelope closed, because if you do that, what ends up happening is you get this like weird line. I don't know if you guys can see that, but see it? You get like a weird line there. Nobody wants that weird line, you know? Alright, so I have that part done. So the next part is going to be to decide where my pockets are going to go. Am I going to put this one here? And this one here? Or am I going to put them both in the center like this? Am I going to do one pocket? Do I want to put these pockets down here or up here? Entirely up to me. I think that I'm going to do this one right here. So I'm going to round my corners here and here. And then I'm going to go ahead and ink this up. And I do want to kind of mirror that finger nip. So I'm just going to take a little one out of here. And I think on this side, I'm going to do a bottom pocket. So I'm going to cut that just a little bit longer. And that is 4.5. Let's see. Ooh, just making it by 2. And then I'm going to do the corners on this. Put in my finger piece. And ink this one up. And I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of these on. the inside pockets are going to just be like this one, the outside pockets. So I'm going to go ahead and get those glued down, and then I will be back and we'll take a look at this little piece and how we can use this in a journal. Okay, so I'll be right back. Alright, so I did want to make sure that this is all lined up. So what I did is I lined this up, and then I kind of eyeball the center, and I put a little mark right here. That way I can put this on, line up my mark, and pop my hole. And that allows me to mirror that so that when I put this on, it's going to be in the right place. Now here's the thing, don't do it on the back and think that, you know, well, I'm going to do it on the back so I don't get a pencil mark on here. Don't do that, because when you turn it over, it's going to be off. Okay? Unless you measured that mark. And even then, it's going to be a little off. Okay, glue. And we're going to glue this one in place. All right. I'm going to go ahead and let this dry, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I cut some tags and things for this, and I cut 3, oops, let me grab those, 3 of them that are 3.5 by 2.5, so the size of your standard, you know, ATC card will fit in here. And you can cut it shallower if you want to. I like to have it stand out a little bit, so those will fit in those pockets there. The pocket that I did on the bottom here is a little bit wider, so I cut this at 3 7/8 by 4.5 so that it stands up. And then on the ends you have the whole pocket that you can fill. So I did these at 4 by 3 inches, and they fit pretty much perfectly in there. So you pull it out. Now, you remember those tabs we cut off? These little ones? So I'm going to go ahead and put a little glue on here. And I'm going to put a little, attach it right here at the back. Okay, so I got that one, and I'm going to do this one. I'll do this one, and I can make another one if I want to for a different tag, you know, for the other one. Pretty easy to do. So I'm going to let those glue up real quick, and I'll show you how to do another one. So to do another one, all we're going to do is take our paper that we're using. Let me get this out of the way. Get my trimmer. Okay, I don't want to cut that one, I want to cut this one. Alright, so I'm going to cut this 2 inches. And I'm just going to take this scrap of paper, leave myself, you know, 1/4 of an inch or whatever here. I'm going to put some glue on here. And I just want to leave that, like, you know, 1/4 of an inch. Okay, I'm going to let that dry, and once it dries, then I can just take my punch and come in and punch out some half circles. Okay, so now I have like little tabs I can put on everything. So now I have this one, which I can put some glue on and add to this piece here. I'm going to put this in here. this one, because this one I'm going to turn into a tag. So I'm going to do this one. And this is just purely for looks, because obviously these tags are much larger than the pockets. You know, they're much taller than the pockets. But look at how stinking cute that is, right? Okay, and then these, we're going to do, we're going to turn these into big, fat, wide tags, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get all of that done. I'm going to get these put in and get them all decorated up, and I'll be back to show you what it looks like in the end. I'll be right back. All right, so here's the finished piece. I haven't really decorated it yet because I'm not sure what journal it's going into. But, you know, you've got a pocket up front here with tag. You know, kind of a little tabbed tag. You have an actual tag here. Open it up. You've got another one here. And you could do this layered and stacked where you have another card of a different height that went in here, that was in front of it, that had a different tab, different colored tab on it. That would be cute. And then I have another one over here. And on the back, we have yet another one. And then another pull here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different journaling spots, journaling opportunities in this piece. And I just wanted to show you this one because this one is slightly different. And this will just give you an idea of the way that you can do this artistically. So this one has a pocket here that you can slide something into. You have your pocket here that you can put a tag or a journaling card or something into. And then when you open this one up, you have a small pocket here that again you can put a tag or something into, and a little tuck spot here, and then space for another tag here. And this one actually glues down to the page. Okay, so I didn't put anything on the back. So that's it. That's like 2 different ways to do this. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have, and you're new here, go ahead and hit that button for me and subscribe. Like me, ring my bell, share me with all your friends. And then your friends can be my friends, and my friends can be your friends, and our friends can get to be friends. And before you know it, we have a giant crafting community. I go live on Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's 11, 12, and 1 across the country, 8 o'clock over in Hawaii. And I post videos on Mondays and Wednesdays. In 2022, I have 2 events going on. One is my 12 of 22 Journal Challenge. There is a link in the description box below. Just click on that, and it's going to take you right over to the video. It's going to explain everything to you. And I'm also doing a series of free classes, basic beginners classes in 2022. And you can get in on those by making sure that when you ring that bell, you select all so that you get notifications for those. They post on Saturdays. And if you catch it on the day that it posts, then you get a live that afternoon where I will answer any questions that you may have. Until the next time, guys, stay safe. Bye-bye.